I'd like to speak about consciousness and knowledge today. Knowledge, and along with knowledge comes intelligence and wisdom. How about this for a gee whiz fact? Over 90% of all data in the world has been created in just the past 2 years. If that's even close to correct, it's quite a startling number. So what we have through AI, in other words, through computers in general, is this proliferation of data and information filling the data banks of the world. I've noticed that when we begin to speak about AI, even at the lunch table or something, the level of excitement goes up, and kind of the mental churnings over what is this and where is it going, it become activated. So if that's happening for you, I just invite you to just self-monitor, notice what's happening for yourself, and let's just be together in this and see if there's something more to see in this whole picture. I want to invite you to think about knowledge this way, that it's like a pyramid. It's like a pyramid. It's got a base, and it all comes up to a focus point, an apex. And for us as humankind, that implies that there are all kinds of levels of knowledge, from the most basic, the most physical, to the philosophical, perhaps the moral, spiritual knowledge, and all the way up to the ultimate knowledge, which we want to put a name on it. Perhaps it's enlightenment, awakening, the ultimate knowledge. Given what's happening in our world today with knowledge, we might say that the base of this pyramid is expanding. Yes? Right? There's voluminous proliferation of knowledge, not necessarily the highest knowledge. I haven't gone to AI to get enlightened. There's a range of that knowledge that takes a human being. I think sometimes in this whole picture of AI, people wonder, well, what's my role in all this? There is an essential part in knowledge that we have to play as human beings. Yes, there's the knowledge that relates to the scientific world. There's the knowledge that relates to technology. All these lower levels of knowledge. But there's the highest level of knowledge that is in many ways missing for us as humankind. And that takes a human being. It not only takes a human being, yes, it takes a human mind, yes, a human mind, but it takes something else that is not usually thought of when it comes to knowledge. The highest knowledge takes a human heart. The most significant things that we are to know, the ultimate knowledge is transmitted through what we call the human heart, through a feeling attunement. We receive the messages of the cosmos, the messages of creation, the messages of the Creator. They resonate through the heart, or they're just plain old not received by us as human beings. That is a picture of the world in which we live, at least in some measure. that there is all this knowledge, but the transmission from on high, the higher intelligence, hasn't had a chance to get through because something's been missing at the apex of things. This apex that ought to touch the invisible and receive the transmission of the invisible. The way consciousness works, there is something that gets built up from the bottom, higher and higher, built up. And in that sense, there's a foundation, just like a house, a foundation on the bottom of it. But this pyramid of knowledge also works in a different way. It's anchored from above. It emerges out of what's above. So if what is above is missing, there is something in the whole pattern of human knowledge that is missing. You might say this is the scary thing about AI. If what is most pivotal, most significant for human consciousness is missing, and then we're giving direction to AI, which has greater and greater abilities, it's a little scary to think about what could happen in all that. Because I think somewhere inside, we know that the right point of origin, and you might even say the point of governance for all of that keeps it within the range of what's creative, is what is at the apex. So with that feeling attunement to the divine becomes a right sense of values. That would be pretty important in any kind of thinking, artificial or, as we call it, or just our own native thinking. A feeling attunement with the divine brings a sense of character, a sense of wisdom. How do you have a sense of wisdom, a sense of true direction, except as you have a feeling attunement with what is above, you might say, the pyramid of consciousness? And that feeling attunement comes at the apex. If that's there, then the whole pyramid of knowledge, of human awareness, of human thought, even human feeling, has a chance to attune with, align with, harmonize with what's at the apex. It's not that we don't need the rest of it. Of course we do. We have to have the intelligence to move around every day and create and relate to other people, live in the world in which we live. It's all part of the whole picture of knowledge and intelligence and wisdom. But all of the rest of it is left rudderless without what is at the top. So that is true, you might say, as an observer of society in a general sense, but then that comes down to each of us. What could be more important for you and for me than that at the very apex of our experience, there is something vital happening?